Hi everyone, welcome to the talk today of Foundation. We have one of our commission groups here, Chloë Cheuk and Liu Chang. They have done commission work under the framework of Foundation Self-Control Removal System. The project is one of our initiatives trying to tackle new technology in the Web3 era. And Luna and Chloe are working on extended reality. Luna is a researcher as well as an artist herself. She has been working with the augmented materiality lab in SCTU. Without further ado, I am passing the time to Luna. Thank you so much, Luna, for giving the presentation today.
Thank you, Angel. Hello, everyone. My name is Luna, and today I'm going to share an augmented reality artwork that I collaborated with Chloe, which is called Self-Control Removal System. And I'm going to share the design and the research of this artwork. But firstly, let me briefly introduce how to experience this artwork. This QR code will lead you to the download page. And right now, this artwork only supports downloading to your iPhone or iPad. And please make sure to wear an earphone for a better experience. And also, you can find this QR code on the exhibition page of the Foundation Festival. And after downloading this app and open it, you need to select a flat area in your surrounding and tap the screen to place the virtual content. The game mechanism of this work is that you need to control the rise and drop of 4 pillars. The goal is to make the plate fully tilt so that the chrysalis in the plate can fully drop. When the dropped chrysalis reached a certain amount, the glowing ball will be squeezed out of the machine, and the audience, the player, can get a mysterious gift hidden in the ball. And the audience only got 6 cones, and the number of the gold cones required to operate these 4 pillars differs. The player needs to think about how to use the limited resources to achieve the goal. The pyramid-shaped sculpture next to the game machine will change when the audience operate the pillars up and down. I will talk more about the metaphorical meaning of the game and the metaphorical meaning of the game and the pyramid-shaped sculpture later in the talk. And firstly, I would like to share one of the main inspirations for the design of this work, which is the factors contributing to the school violence in Asia cultural context. The first factor is Confucianism and the hierarchy in school. The hierarchy in the Asia schools are shown in this image. Teachers are at the top of this pyramid, and the class officers, who are students but given the right to manage other students, are in the middle, and normal students are at the bottom of this pyramid. Confucianism stresses harmonious and hierarchical relationship between students and the teachers. Therefore, students are taught from a very young age to obey teachers and cannot challenge them. This makes them very vulnerable to teacher bullying. Also, exam-oriented education trains students to obey authorities, not to challenge it, and suppress students' ability to think critically. Therefore, students in Asia culture tend to obey class officers, which makes them vulnerable to class officers' maltreatment. Chloe made a physical sculpture using the university entrance exam paper of China, Hong Kong, Taiwan, Korea, and Japan. This pyramid is a metaphor of the hierarchy in schools. Then she used this free application called Reality Scan to generate the 3D scanning of this sculpture. I then made virtual animation based on the 3D scans. Actually, the best way to present this artwork would be to place the virtual animation directly on the physical sculpture. But since we are committed to making an online exhibition, so we can only use the 3D scanning of the sculpture to show the combination of the animation and the sculpture. The visual style of the characters and their clothes, as well as the text, are designed to emphasize the influence of Confucianism in Asian culture. The mouse, the text, and the golden waves are representations of the passive acceptance of knowledge. The chrysalis and the brain are metaphor for students whose free thinking was restricted in exam-oriented education, and the parents' hope for their children to break out of their chrysalis into butterflies. There are other factors that are contributing to school violence in Asia culture's context. Some students are tempted to bully others. The temptations are first material rewards, because the bullies can get money or other properties from their classmates easily using force or threats. Also, they can gain a sense of dignity and achievement by bullying others. Students performed poor in studying can get respect and achievement at school or at home, so they want to gain dignity and achievement by bullying others. The third temptation is that bullies really got punished or only get very light punishment. Victims are afraid of being revenged, therefore they seldomly report the bullies to the teachers. Even if they did, most of the teachers won't take it seriously, and they will think it's just the play between students. And lastly, students bully others for fun. Bullies think it's funny to see others scared or being pranked. And also, some students are forced to bully others because they are too afraid that they will become the next victim. So they want other students to afraid of them. It's their way to seek for self-protection. And the last but most important factor contributing to school violence is stress, which depletes student and teacher self-regulation. Therefore, they would need emotional release. And large economic inequality is the root of the student and the teacher stress, because large economic inequality lead to parents' great anxiety about class advancement or maintaining family prestiges. And parents' anxiety lead to students' pressure to enroll into top university, and the school's pressure of high enrollment rate into top university, and teachers' pressures of performance evaluation. Self-regulation refers to one's ability to regulate their negative thoughts, emotions, and impulses. Self-regulation is a limited resource. If some events consume too much of a person's self-regulation, that person will not be able to control themselves efficiently in subsequent events that also require self-regulation. For example, students consumed too much self-regulation to make themselves doing things they did not like. For example, studying, taking exam, and cramming classes. Also, they consume too much self-regulation to manage their negative emotions such as stress, anxiety, boredom that came with study. If something happened that makes students particularly angry, they cannot control their anger and won't let it go. And if they develop some evil thoughts and impulses at this time, they will also not able to suppress their evil thoughts and impulses, which will lead to bullying. And the loss of self-regulation reduces one's ability of logical reasoning and the self-awarenesses. So the victims usually ignore their pain and does not know how to resist bullies. And the loss of self-regulation can also make people become selfish and unwilling to help others, which explain why bystanders of school bullying are usually apathetic to the incidents. The design of the pyramid indicates the large economic equality is the root of the student and the teacher stress, which gave rise to school bullying. The game format of this artwork is intended to let players deeply feel the helplessness of many parents in Asia. If they want to tell the play completely by raising the pillar in the third or fourth area to the highest, let the chrysalis inside completely fall down and put the eggs down, they need to raise the pillar in the third or fourth area 6 times, so they need 12 gold coins. The resources limitation indicate that parents in less affluent families don't have enough money to get their children to top university by investing in the children's extracurricular activities, so that they can apply for admission to outstanding university overseas, which emphasize the overall development of the children. Their only option is to raise the pillars in area 1 and lower the pillar in area 2 to make the plate fully tilt forward. The lowering of the pillar in area 1 implies that parents can only get their children into a good university by spurring their children to study hard and pass the entrance exam. By lowering the pillar in area 2 implies that parents are putting pressure on their children to study to the extent that will affect the children's mental health. And each time the player raises the pencil, which is the pillar at the region 1, the pressure on the student and the teacher increases. So student and the teacher become one step closer to become a bully. And the morph between the 3 scenarios illustrate the teacher and the students' gradual changes into bullies. Oh, I cannot play the video. Okay, I see it. So the hands represent self-regulation, and it becomes smaller and smaller means that self-control is continuously consumed until it lost its effect. The appearance of each ball is accompanied by a voice narration, and the content of the voice narration derived from web forum as well as interview in psychological publications. The voice narration is to provide additional information and allow player to know more about the reasons why students and teachers gradually lose self-regulation. And these are excerpts of voice narration in the scene 1. The voice narration are dispute over the pros and cons of split grade classroom on the internet. Some people say that for irresponsible teachers, not dividing students is good because they can use the poor students as an excuse for the low promotion rate in their class. And some people think some poor students bully students with good grade because of envy. They were thinking that if I can not have a good future, I will drag you all into the abyss with me. And some people said students with good grade have higher status and rights in school, which paved the way for school bullying. And also some people think originally many students were just poor learners, but staying in such classes, they develop from not learning at the beginning to smoking, brawling, gambling, stealing, and more bad behaviors. And these are excerpts from of the voice narration in the second scene. And the voice of people who are there are voice of people who are forced or attempt to become bullies. And also there are complaints of teacher on the internet. A Hong Kong teacher writes an essay said that he have to teach nearly 300 students in the school year. Additionally, he have to handle a lot of administrative tasks and take refresher courses. So he couldn't get familiar with any of his students and to care more about them. And he probably couldn't even remember their name. And some bullies said it's useless to report bullying incident to teacher because some of the teacher won't help you. And some bullies said they like there are other students ask them do they want to be blackmailed or do they want to blackmail others. So they was enticed to join the gangs or triads. So they feel very secure. So they just join the bullies parties. And some people said it's fun. They feel powerful and they can bully others without consequences. And some people said they bully others as they always saw somebody bully others. Some people said they was annoyed by their parents nagging, so they just vented their anger at school. And finally, these are some excerpts of the voice narration in the third thing. There are voices of the victims of school bullying on the internet. A victim said that he didn't expect the teacher to take the lead in mocking her during class, said that her bored when she asked him for leave, and that someone at school was bullying her and she couldn't leave anymore and she wanted to jump off the building. And also, there is a real incident that Liu Chang jumped to her desk at school after 2 language classes. And also, people write on the web forum that my 3 high school roommates came to my bed every day to touch my breasts and thighs, and they thought it was strange to have a gay roommate, so they put on my underpants and splashed irritant liquid on my genitals. They took a video and spread it to many people. I was stripped naked and pinned to my bed, and they forced me to watch obscene videos of opposite sex while assaulting me. And also, another victims of bullies write that if you give money to the class leaders, and they will tell the teacher that you have recited the textbook, even if you didn't. And if you don't, they will tell the teacher that you didn't recite the textbook, even if you did. And I will briefly talk about the forms of school bullying. The first form is bullying initiated by class officers. Class officers can use their right to bullying classmates, and if classmates pay bribes, even if they didn't do their homework, class officers can tell the teacher that they have handed in their homework. So the flowers in this saying represent saying good words to the teachers. And if the classmates don't pay bribes, even if they handed in their homework, class officers can destroy their homework and then tell the teacher that these people didn't submit their homework. So the poisonous insects in this saying represents the class officer saying bad words to the teacher. And the second form is bullying initiated by teacher. Teacher can bully students directly by humiliating or beating students. Teacher can also bully students indirectly by ignore their ask for help and permit bullying incidents. Research show that students who are not cared by their teacher and those who are hated by their teacher are most likely to be bullied. In our work, the morph from words to poisonous insects present teachers' verbal bullying, and the student imprisoned on the platform formed by poisonous insects represent the teacher's ignorance and permission to school bullying. And the third form is bully initiated by students who just seek for fun, dignity, or material rewards. The design of these things originated from a real bullying incident. A 16-year-old male high school student was bullied by 4 roommates because of his sexual orientation. They forcibly to touch the boy's body every day and forced him to watch heterosexual porn movies while assaulting him, and then spreading the videos on the internet. I use steel plate to connect the jade and the gold body parts together to represent the victims. The jade indicate the fragile of the students both physically and mentally, and goats indicate the verbal insults imposed on him by his roommates. As goat is an animal that mate with the same sex, so it is a metaphor for his roommates to verbally insult him about his homosexuality. The two breast-like objects suggest that the roommates forced the boys to watch heterosexual pornography, and the monster's hands touching the man's breast and thighs implies that roommates prolonged sexual harassment of the high school student. And next, I will briefly talk about what mental damage school bullying can cause. Firstly, victims will internalize others' humiliations. So the victims will believe that they really done something wrong and is guilty, and that's why they are being bullied. So they will hate themselves and punish themselves. And secondly, the victims of school bullying might overly protect themselves and have excessive catharsis of emotions. For example, they might bullying a weaker beings, a human or animals, to vent their anger and get back their dignity. Also, they might practicing perfectionism to avoid criticism. Chloe made a sculpture of a spiky mountain out of salmon, and then I added animation to the scan of this sculpture. The animation suggests that there is a very high probability that victims of school bullying will vent their anger and find a sense of dignity by controlling and hurting their partner, child, or pet. And thirdly, the victims of school bullying might use surrender strategies. So they might behave in a submissive way and to tolerate abuse and silence their needs. And thirdly, the victims of school bullying might use avoidance strategies. So they might refuse to socialize and avoid all events that might cause negative emotions. The masks in this virtual sculpture indicate that the victims of school bullying is unwilling to participate in any activities that might cause mood swings. And the vines indicates overprotection of oneself. And the leaf, rope, and the gears indicate that the victims is stuck in the time of being bullied, unable to grow and unable to move forward, only feel deeply painful, angry, and desperate. And also the avoidance strategy, including excessive indulgence in relaxing activities such as sex, game, alcohol, television show, and drugs. And the sculpture of the cloud Chloe made and animation of the melting people aims to give audience the feeling of deep indulgence into some relaxing activities. And also, these objects on the ground are showing what activities the victims are indulging into, such as playing game, taking too much, like bulge eating, taking too much sweeties, and also taking some drugs, and also have unprotected sex activities. And that's all. Feel free to ask me if you have any questions.
Thanks, Luna. It is very detailed information.
Hello, Angel.
Hello. Do you think you can turn off the background, or because we are seeing like duplications of ourselves? Do you think you can stop sharing the screen?
Oh, sure.
Yes. Yeah, thank you, Luna, for the very thorough presentation and an explanation about the concept behind self-control removal system. It is an amazing work. If anyone haven't have a chance to play the game yet, please do. So my first question is, how have you conceived the concept of the artwork?
Actually, the first inspiration is my personal experience of being bullied during my secondary and high school. So I'm very curious about the motivation of the bullies, and also like why they want to bully others. So that would be my most like a strong drive for making this artwork.
I see. But it is interesting that I think a lot of people have the experience being like of bullying in like growing up. I think it's more than we expect usually, surprisingly. But it is interesting that in this work you have chosen the perspective of parents instead of like the bullies or the victims. May I know why is the reasons that?
Because I think because I think it could reach a wider audience because some people may never been bullied. So if you want to make them feel interested into this artwork or can learn something from this artwork, then taking the perspective of a parent would be the best choice. Yeah, because everyone would like going to be a parent soon or later. So yeah, I just want this artwork to be intriguing and inspiring for every people.
Yes, and I think something you point out really in the presentation of really important is that the bullying behavior is not only about students, not only about the children, but actually the society, the environment that put the like immature people into has really highly affected how they behave in a small society like at schools. And but actually there are a lot of really dark symbols and topics in the work, but why have you and Chloe have chosen the format of a game, of a mobile game, as the format of the presentation of your work?
Cause I want to make the audience could deeply feel some emotions. So because actually for this game there is actually only one way to win this game, but the audience need to try and to find out that there's actually only one way to win this game, which is just to raise the pencil and lower the candle, which indicate that students like family who don't have enough money to invest in their children's extracurricular activities, they can only stimulate their children very hard to study and pass the entrance exam. So I think this helplessness when audience find out they can only win the game using its only one method is similar to the helplessness of the parents who don't have enough financial support and they can only stimulate their children to work hard to push their student very hard. I think this helplessness feeling is the same. So yeah, I want to channel this two phenomena. I mean, make the player feel this emotions.
I see. Yes, because when I play the game, I mean, the game is very interesting and there are surprisingly a lot of details. Like, I really recommend everyone to download it. And because of the sculpture Chloe created and as well as the animation you created, there are like massive details that you have never expected from the mobile game. But when I start playing the game, it is as if there are many ways. There are like normally if you play a mobile game, you know what you need to do or what you should do. But in this game, it seems there are a lot of way I can interact with the game, with the sculptures. But as you said, there is only one way to be successful in this game. And I think it really demonstrates what you said, the frustration of like in real life. Actually, we don't have a lot of possibility that we wanted, and there is only one way, but that way might be painful or might be very difficult to find for many people. So I think that really well conveyed in the work. And as I talk about like the details as well as the sculptures and animation, may I know how you and Chloe work together? Because as I know, Chloe come from more she worked a lot with materiality, but she worked a lot with physical objects. And recently she has been working a lot with sculptures. And for you, you work with extended reality, you work with animation programming, and I would put it as like virtual materiality. How you two work together in achieving the work?
Because I think the most intriguing fact of like this collaboration is that the animation I created is actually based on a physical object. So I think the physical object might already be very intriguing and have a lot of meanings. So I think it will create a 1+1 kind of like greater effect of like if I combine these two. And I think because right now there is a lot of way to make a physical, like 3D scanning out of physical sculpture. So I think this collaboration is not very difficult for me. Yeah.
I see. Then may I know, because I think this is a kind of, I would not say it's a new attempt, but there is an attempt like from foundation. When I talk to, when my colleagues talk with you and Chloe, we really have this intention to allow something really familiar with technologies working with someone much less familiar with it. Do you think like this kind of collaboration, especially like extended reality, has been a really hot topic over the last few years? And do you think, and also one of the reason hi Chloe, hi, one of the reason that we started this project is to look into if there's any potential for the artist using extended reality as a technology to create artwork. And do you think there are still many potential or many possibility for artists to explore in using extended reality in art? Chloe, you might want to join us. You can press on start streaming button at the bottom, and then you can make your egg bigger. Yes.
Hi,
Hi,
I'm sorry.
Should I
repeat
repeat the question?
Yeah.
Yes, we have been talking about in this project. Actually, you two come from quite different background. I would say, Chloe, you're working a lot with physical materiality, especially in recent years. You have been working a lot with sculptures, and Luna has been working with a lot of virtual materiality, like as animation that we see in this work, as well as the extended reality elements in the artwork. So Luna has already answered this question, but may I know how you two work together on this from your perspective?
I think the whole project, Luna take lots of responsibility on the technical side. So she did a really great job to guide me through how to incorporate the physical object to the work. And she even, I don't know if she mentioned that, like, she even stay up late for, we book a studio together, and I have to shoot the object, and then she has to be with me, and then guide me through the whole process, and like all the angles and stuff. So it's, I think that we had to communicate many things together, and she created the structure of the game and stuff like that. So I mean, for me, it's a little bit difficult in the beginning. I don't know how to. I don't know much about the game engine and all these things, so I'm not sure how the structure works. So, and so through the project, I learned a lot about how actually physical object can work with the extended reality. I'm still thinking about these questions: how the digital world can work with the physical world, and one thing, but right now we just very straightforward and then put the physical object into the virtual world, but it will be interesting to see how it can cooperate in real life also.
Yeah.
That's my thoughts.
Yeah, I think the best presentation method would be of this work would be just to place the virtual animation on your sculpture physically. Yeah, that would be more impressing for the audience. Yeah. Hope we have a chance to move your sculpture to Hong Kong, and then we map the animation on it.
And I think once we scan the physical object, it's interesting that once we incorporate the physical object into the virtual world by taking photos and making, and then into the game, I feel like the meaning of the physical object is gone. Like the original physical object, it becomes redundant.
Yeah.
And I feel that that's quite interesting, because usually physical object, it's like very unique. And then now it just feels like, now I don't know if I need to keep it or not, just because the purpose of that physical object has finished.
No, I think we just copied that physical object for the
Yeah.
purpose of online exhibition. But I think this artwork is actually made to augment your physical objects. So that would be our like most important goals. Yeah, I think this is just the digital version of the artwork. The most ideal version would be just to align the animation with your physical object. So you need to keep it.
Yes, perhaps there will be a chance we can have a physical showcase, especially I think now people are more looking forward to have encounter art and artists physically. So let's hope there will be a chance that we can have an exhibition online and as well as physically in Hong Kong or perhaps in Canada. And I think this collaboration, your collaboration, I see is very successful because it demonstrates that artists can work together in spite of physical distance. And actually it brought a lot of possibility of how we can work together, especially with newer technologies such as extended reality. And what do you think about that? Do you think you have been working well together in this format, like from distance?
Yeah, I think from distance is not a big problem. I think the 12 hours time zone
Yes.
is the problem. Yeah. But it's okay. I think we work quite smoothly on this project.
I feel Luna, she, I think I feel like she take care a lot of technical things, and so yeah, I feel I should give more credit to her efforts in this project because without her, I'm not sure how this work can be done smoothly. And like I never really, because she had the experience, and then I'm very happy when it's finished that like it incorporates with sound, and like it feels like we just directed a film or something. And I never really had this kind of production before, so I feel very surprised. The project is really well made and very professional, and it's also have a very deep context behind it.
Yes. I'm really happy for the outcome as well because I think it showed the best of both artists in this project. And I mean, I can see Luna's, of course, the personality and the concept and the topic that Luna's is interested in, but I also see a lot of presence of Chloe in there as well, with the aesthetic, with the sculpture. So actually, I think I'm really happy that we had this collaboration together. And go back to the question I was asking before, do you think, because when I initiated the idea of foundation is that, as well as this collaborations, is that I want to know if, because technology and art has been regarded as two very different things. They want to put art and technology together, but in many times they have been treated as two different things. I show art with some really high technology, technologist thing, or I'm using high technology and there's something I might be able to call art. But I really want to know if technologies such as extended reality, like blockchain, AI, can be used by artists to do something not be able or possible, or we're not inspired to do that before. Do you think there are still more potentials of artists using extended reality making their artwork?
You want to go first?
Maybe go first.
Yeah, I'm always have this question in my mind about art and technology, and for me, having the background of both intermediate and also fine art, honestly, it can be a struggle for me because the struggle is positive because too much inspiration and it can be very distracted to me because I sometimes I don't know how to put my focus on, and also especially the trend of the technical advance is very fast. It changed very quickly. Uh, it's hard to know how to maneuver everything every time.
Mm.
Um, but I'm also very interested to know the concept behind. Uh, I, s- I think of course it's possible to cooperate art and technology together, uh, but somehow it's really hard. It's very rare to see art that can balance between art and technology together. Some It depends on the time of the research, because if you have less experience of the technical side, it means that you may need help or collaborate with other people who have more experience on this side. And it also takes time to do research. And I've seen some artists make work that takes years of research to eventually balance the concept, the aesthetics, the use of technology itself, um, and it really well made. And but he told me it took him like 5 years to do everything, but the outcome is fantastic. And then he has his own way of using the technical uh side. For example, AI, there are some website that can predict a future image, something like that. And he used that concept to use, for example, a place that is polluted, and then having a satellite images combined, and then put it in the AI and then predict how contaminated the area can be in the future, and then it becomes an art piece. And I feel that it's nice to I feel that it makes sense. Somehow, people who use the technology, given a very short period of time, maybe the concept and the technology, they don't match together. You don't find why it's necessary to use AI, or you just use AI for sake of using AI, and it take away the meaning or the aesthetics away. So it would be more a technical driven kind of art base. and and what we want is to have the perfect state is balancing both technical side and art side. uh but for me, I always have to take time to understand what what the technical what is how to use it, or what kind of concept match well with that technology. And another, I feel it's really important to have a core statement, or how to say, like a core theme that I concern about, cultural wise, not just aesthetic wise, but in a culture background, that even if you use different kinds of medium, you can find a way to incorporate your core value. um, so right now I'm more trying to dig deep into a topic, and to see, because not, right now technology is everywhere, so there's no I don't need to worry about whether they fit in or not, but I need to understand, for example, pollution. I have to understand how technology affect pollution, or how I can use technology to review the pollution aspects. But I need to understand really deep about that concept, so that it's not just a surface wise or very shallow wise, or I just use AI to do this, and to it has to be very evidence based. For me, this is what I think, but maybe other artists use it as a fictional way. Uh, so I'm more into research, because now I feel that that's quite important if you put something outside, and you want the audience to learn something from your work. So if so I need to prepare more about the research, and I think Nuna demonstrate a really good example this time, that she have did a lot of research about the abuse or the social background. So it gives a very strong backbone for the project. So it's not just a game or anything. It has its own direction and focus itself. So if we have a very strong focus, no matter how the world change, we can always incorporate the new thing back to us. So I think right now that is more important than ever, that we have to understand what we are doing. Otherwise, it will get really lost and very distracted. So right now, I think it's in the era of fighting to become very focused, because we are fighting for all the distraction we have right now. Sometimes people choose to shut down and not ignoring the technology. Sometimes I met some people like that. But I feel it's unavoidable. You need to understand what's the world is happening, and I feel that reading news about what the society is happening is as important as learning what's the technology is evolving. It feels like both are really parallel now, because mm, it's we are deeply influenced by how technological world change.
Yes.
Do you have anything to say, Luna?
Yeah, I totally agree with your ideas. I think I only got some point to add, because Andrew asked, is there any other possibility of doing extended reality work in the future? And I think no matter how the technology evolved, whether you are going to use laser to make the extended reality artwork, it's like you can use your bare eye to see the virtual animation without relying on a camera, something like that. I think that would be the focus of the future development of augmented reality. So you can use your bare eyes to see. But no matter how the technology evolved, I think the focus of the foundation of making augmented reality work or extended reality work is you need to choose either to focus on the virtual side or focus on the physical side. For example, if you want to mainly focus, like put more emphasis on the virtual side, so I already, like right now there's a lot of examples. For example, if a company I know created games. It's um, like you need to solve some puzzle and in confined areas, and then you need to solve some puzzle and to achieve some goals. And then later this company created a physical like site to allow the players to it's the same experience, same game mechanism, but they just put this make this game into a physical experience. so it will be more immersive for the player and more intriguing for them. And also, you might want to put more emphasis on the physical side of this work. For example, there is a historical side, and you want to retell the story of this regarding to this historical side. So the emphasis would be what's happening to this side. So your animation is just a way to show the story. And yeah, I think that would be the foundation that people need to think about when they want to create extended reality artwork. Yeah.
Thank you. Yes. Like, let me put a small summary to what you've said. It's like, even working with technologies, the contents, the concept, and how it related to people, to real life is really important. So virtual reality, or like the high technology allowed realities, are not a way for us to escape what happened in real life, but actually is a way for us to express as well as to feel what happened with real people in the reality that we're living in. Yes. So, and I think that's all for today's talk. Thank you so much, Chloë and Luna. We have recorded the Luna presentation as well as this conversation, and we will put it on our YouTube channel, as well as we will put the video next to your work during the exhibition period. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, and really, so I think we're still recording, but there's no other people here. I'm so sorry that there are no other audiences in today's talk, but I think it's because people are feeling online talks very different from what we planned at the very beginning during the pandemic. So people are more willing for physical occasion, but so we win. And I also realized that for artist talk, for connection between artists and the audience, a physical talk would be more effective. But it happened, the environment changes when the project progresses. So, but thank you so much. I think the conversation today is really meaningful, and really happy to have you two here. Thank you. And I'm really happy for the work. I really love it. I mean, I'm using Android, so I can't download it at my phone, but I use my colleague's phone to play on it a little bit. I think it is interesting. It is almost anti-game because I think for a lot of mobile game, it's quite straightforward what you have to do. Like, I do this, and then it gives me some kind of interaction that I know I'm doing right or wrong. But with this game, there are a lot of things I can do. There are a lot of things I can see, but I don't know if I'm doing it right. So I think it is a very interesting experience, and I would say the details, the aesthetic is amazing.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much. I'm really happy because I was really worried because we have put a lot of time and we didn't give you a lot of direction, like how the work or the research going to be what we're expecting. So I'm really happy you two are working together so well. And I think it achieved what I anticipated in this project at the very beginning, is to experiment and give the artists the time and resources to explore and use technologies to make art. And I think it's really achieved what our early objectives. And thank you so much for that.
Very happy you like it.
Yeah, I really like it. I mean, as a game, it's frustrating, to be honest.
Yeah, I want people to feel frustrated.
Yeah, it's because I think when I played it, the most obvious response is with the cons. Okay, I put the cons, it go up, and I use up all my corn in 30 seconds.
You can replay.
Yes, I hope I can. Is it not possible to upload it to Google Store because of the size?
Yeah, the size is a big problem.
But do you think we can put the APK for download somewhere?
Yeah, that would be possible.
Yes.
To provide the APK only.
Yes, because I really want to play it on my phone. And yeah, I think it would be interesting for more people to be able to play the game.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I send you the APK soon. So you, we can upload it on the web page.
Yes, please send it to me. Thank you so much. We will edit the video, edit some beginning and also some technical gadgets. And then we will send you the video and upload it on our channel. Thank you so much. Happy to see you.
Yay.
Thank you.
It's been a while.
You all talk to. Yeah, it's great to talk to you.
Yes. Yes. Thank you so much. And have a nice weekend.
Yeah.
You too.
Okay,
Bye-bye.